with no steps skipped.
Well, the bad news is someone's gonna get fired. The good news is I'm gonna show you how to make an amazing website, step by step, with no steps skipped. This video is part of our free website giveaway series. Our winner was Ted from EcoStar Painting. Let's go check out his website. So here is Ted's brand new website that I'm gonna show you how to make with absolutely no coding knowledge necessary. We're gonna show you how to put in this logo, this menu, these social icons, which lead him to the social media pages. And I'm going to show you how to insert this slider with these main points on here. I'm going to show you how to do this call to action right here, just in case people get sold from the main points and they just want to call Ted. Your call to action should always be front and center. I'm going to show you how to put in these 3 feature boxes. There's Ted right there. And here are some of his other points. And I'm going to show you how to make this call to action area right here where it says learn more about our services. So you can click on that. And here we have another call to action up here, just in case after they're done with the services, they see that they indeed need a pressure washing, so they can call right up here. I'm going to show you how to put in these different features and services that he provides. I'm going to show you how to make an about page, and again, this is all without coding. This is all done in WordPress, which is a content management system used by people like CNN and Forbes and Jay-Z, Katy Perry, and most professional web developers. It also has a 56% market share, which means that it has lots of support from all over the world and many different designs to choose from. So I'm also going to show you how to make this, put in this picture and make an estimate page, because maybe people want to contact him, but they want to know how much something's going to be. So we have his information. I'm going to show you how to make this box and this get a quote within 6 hours. So if you fill out this form, you can get a quote within 6 hours and Ted will get back to you. So that's pretty cool. And we also have his service area over here in this sidebar area. That's what it's called, sidebar. So again, you don't need to have any experience. You just have to be willing to learn a little bit. It's super easy. This works on a Mac. It works on a PC. You don't need any special tools or software. Again, no coding, and this is mobile friendly. So if we resize this, it'll actually resize and everything will look really good. So it works on a smartphone, it works on a Mac, works on a PC, works on iPhone, iPad, any Android devices, any mobile phones. So it's really, really great, really versatile, and really amazing. So before we start our exciting adventure, let's get a little to-do list going so we can set sail in the right direction. So here's our to-do list. The first thing that we need to do is get a domain name. That's the same thing as your website name. So that's like www.yourwebsite.com. I'm sure you've seen this before, like www.google.com or yahoo.com or microsoft.com or apple.com. So a domain name costs approximately $13 yearly. So that's every year you pay $13 to get and register your domain name. So you register in your name, you own it, but it costs $13 yearly. The second thing that we need to get is hosting. So hosting is where you actually store all of your content, information, and pictures. So you can have a website name, but without hosting, your website will just come up blank. So it's really important to have both a domain name and hosting so that your website comes up and you see all of this really cool content. So hosting is basically a computer that's on 24 hours a day that holds and stores all of your content. So hosting costs about $10 per month. So $10 a month for hosting and $13 a year for your domain name. These are the only 2 costs that are necessary in order to have a website. Everything else is optional. All right, then after that, we are going to install WordPress. So WordPress is free. WordPress is used by, again, professional web developers. What WordPress is it's a content management system, which just is a fancy way of saying it helps you manage your content. So instead of having to know all this coding and stuff, you can just type out what you want, and you can do it just like Microsoft Word, where you just type in and you drag in pictures and you rearrange things. It's really easy. So that is free, so that's awesome. Thank you, WordPress people, for doing that. Then we're going to install a theme, and what a theme is, it's the design of your website. So if we look over here, we see that this is this gray color, and there's a big picture image right here, and there's this box and these featured images. That's the design of your website. That's called a theme. So it's, different websites can have different themes and they can look completely different. So that's another reason why WordPress is so good, is because many people build themes or designs for them. And yeah, it looks pretty awesome. So that is free. So that's really awesome that someone built this for you for free. Then we're going to install a plugin, install plugins. And what plugins do, they extend the functionality of WordPress. So by default, if you look over here, this form doesn't come with WordPress. This form right here, where you fill it out and it emails you, it doesn't come in WordPress by default, but someone built it, and all you have to do is install it. So that's pretty awesome. So most plugins are free, but we did install one that helps you add content visually, even more visually than before, and that costs $25, but that's optional. So $25 optional. And then we're going to add all of your content. So that's like your text, your images, this map, everything. So adding your content is obviously free. However, you can go and buy stock photos. If you see on this website that we made right here, this is a stock photo, and so is this, and so is this. So what we actually did is we purchased these stock photos for Ted, and we put them on the website. So that does cost money, and we'll show you where to do that. But most of you will probably have your own photos. Some of you will need some stock photos. So that's free. Sometimes it does cost money. That is optional. So that's optional. So the total cost of everything is comes out to $23, but I am going to show you how to get 35% off. So it's going to come out to less than $20 to start. So less than $20 to start. Now that's pretty amazing, considering that a regular web developing firm will charge you thousands and thousands of dollars to make a website like this, especially to make an estimate form. So that's really awesome. So the way I like to think about it is each of these different steps is a puzzle piece. So there are 6 steps to the puzzle, and once you put all of the pieces together, it creates a beautiful picture, and that picture is an awesome website. So why don't we take care of the first 2 pieces to the puzzle, which are getting our domain name and getting hosting. Luckily, we can do this at the same place, and that is HostGator.com. So let's go ahead and do that. So we can go to www.hostgator.com. Now there are thousands of hosting companies to choose from. I like HostGator the best because they have really good prices, they have 24-hour support, and they have live chat, which is really cool. Live chat right here, so you can click on this. It does take a few minutes for them to answer you, but they answer you via live chat, and that saved me many times when either I can't get on the phone or I just don't want to. So that's really cool. And they have unlimited disk space, which means they're not going to cap you at only uploading 100 pictures. You can put 1,000 on if you wanted to. And they have unlimited bandwidth, which means that if 1,000 people come to your website, they're not going to just shut it down because you have too many people coming to your website. So that's really why I like HostGator. I haven't tried all of the hosting companies, but I think they're the best. They have really good reviews online, so check it out. So after you get here, you can click on web hosting right here. And then it's going to offer you some different plans. So we have a hatchling plan, a baby plan, and a business plan. So I'm just going to go over them. The business plan is just too many things, I think. You don't need it right now. You can always upgrade later. So really your choices are between a hatchling plan and a baby plan. So the hatchling plan and the baby plan, the difference between them is the hatchling plan only allows a single domain. So like www.yourbusiness.com. You can't get any more domains. You can't have your friend's business, your mom's business, or a client's website. You can't have any of that. On the baby plan, you can have unlimited domains. So you can have your website, you can make a website for your friend, you can make a whole bunch of websites. So if you know that you're only going to have one website, then going with the hatchling plan is the way to go. If you know that you're going to have multiple websites, then you can go with the baby plan. You can always upgrade from the hatchling plan to the baby plan, but I personally have the baby plan, so that's what I'm going to recommend. So what I like to do here is I like to choose between, they give you some different options. The longer you stay with them, the cheaper it is going to be for you. So you actually don't get any discounts so far for monthly to 6 months to a year. So if you're going to go for 2 years, then you start to get the discount. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go with monthly because that's what I personally have also. Go month to month. And then you can click order now. And another reason to go monthly is if they stop providing, excellent service, then you can always cancel with them. So that's another reason why monthly might be good. They also give you a 45-day money back guarantee. But so after you choose monthly, you either go with the hatchling or the baby. Just click order now. And now it's going to ask you whether you want to register a new domain. And remember, a domain is same thing as your website name. Or if you already own this domain. So we're registering a new one. So I'm just going to put it in here, ecostarpainting.com. Now it's going to tell me congratulations that it's available. You want to register your domain name because sometimes people can take it and then you can't have it anymore. So, but this one is available. They also have another option over here that says I already own this domain. So if you maybe went to GoDaddy or something and you registered your domain name there, then you can click this and you can put in the name here to get your hosting. Okay, and it also gives you different options for the .com, .net, .org, .info, .biz. If you're from a different country, you need, for example, like a .co, .uk, then you would go to somewhere like GoDaddy and you would buy it, and then you would say, I already own this domain, and you'd put it in here. All right, so that's the way to do that. Some of the other options it's going to have is, do you want to add the .net for $12.95 more a year? I usually don't recommend that. You don't need to do it. I think you don't need to have all these names. Just focus on one. I think it's better. So you don't need. You could leave that unchecked. Then it's gonna make sure you're confirming your baby plan. And it's gonna say month to month. So this will either say baby or hatchling for you. Month to month, it says 20% off, but I'm going to show you how to get 35% off. Then it's going to ask for your username. I'm just going to put in Tyler here. And then it's going to ask for your security pin. I'm just going to put a random security pin. Then it's going to ask for all of your billing information, so your email, your name, and that's pretty straightforward, and your credit card or PayPal. So if you're from another country, you may only have the option of PayPal. Anywhere else you can use a credit card. So that's pretty good. Right here, they're gonna try to sell you on some more add-ons, and let me go through them and explain them to you. Anytime you register a website name, your name and address gets stored in a database for people to look up and see. So if you want to hide your information and you want to keep it private, then you can check this to add it on. It's $10 more a year. Then all of your name and address and phone number will be hidden. So I trust people, so I'm just gonna uncheck that because we don't need it, but that's really up to you. So you can either add it or not add it. For SiteLock, this adds an extra layer of security to your website. It's $14.99 a year. I usually don't recommend it, and you can add it anytime, so I'm just gonna uncheck it, but that's really up to you. This jumpstart your website, I really don't think it's necessary, but that's really up to you. So we're gonna keep all those three unchecked, and it's gonna ask for a coupon code. Instead of Snappy, we're gonna do 35. So this actually saves you, instead of 20%, you're gonna save 35%. So it's gonna save you an extra 15%, and it's gonna give me credit so I can keep on making these tutorials. So once you type in 35, you can click validate, and you can see down here that you'll actually get 35% off instead of 20% off. So that's pretty cool. Then it's gonna have you review your order. So you get 24-hour live chat and email support and phone support, account activation, money back guarantee for 45 days, you doing the baby plan, or maybe yours says hatchling plan, per month $9.95 minus 35%, no add-ons, you may have some here, and domain registration $12.95. So in total, it's $19.42, under $20, which is amazing to, start a business, or if you already have a business, to expand it. So that's pretty awesome. Once you do that, you just click the I have read and agreed to the terms and conditions of use, and you press create account. This next page is just a thank you page confirming your purchase, and now we can go ahead and check our email. Alright, so now I'm logged into my Gmail account, and we see we have a new email from HostGator that says your account info. So we can go ahead and click on that. And we see thank you for your order, and we see a lot of important HostGator account information. So you're going to want to print this or somehow keep it safe. And it has our username, our passwords, our domain name, and a bunch of important information. The most important thing that we need to do now is go to our control panel. But before we do that, let's look at our to-do list. So here's our to-do list. So we got our domain name, so that's done. We got our hosting, that's done. Now we need to install WordPress. So we need to install WordPress, and to do that, we need to log into our control panel. So here's our link right here to our control panel. So we can go ahead and click on it, and it'll open up a new window. And just copy in your username, just copy that, paste it there, and your password. So here's our password, just highlight it, right click, copy, and paste in your password. So once you have your username and password in there, go ahead and click login. Alright, we're now logged in, and this is called the control panel, or cPanel. We can scroll down, and under software/services, we find quick install. Go ahead and click that. Now this is another reason why I like HostGator, is because they have quick install. Usually installing WordPress is really hard and you have to know coding, but with quick install, it's really easy. It's just one button clicks. So on the left side of here, we can find WordPress. Go ahead and click on WordPress, and then press continue. Now it's going to ask us which website we want to install WordPress on. And since we only have one website right now, we're just going to use that. And we're going to leave this blank because we want to install WordPress on the main website, not / anything. So just leave that blank. Put in your admin email. I'm going to go ahead and put in my email from now. And put in a blog title. Later, I'm going to show you how to change this. So I'm just going to put in Eco Star Painting for now, and your admin user. Because this is going to be Ted's website, I'm going to hand the keys over to him. I'm going to just put in Ted. Then click Install Now. And now we wait for it to install. Alright, so it installs and it says congratulations, you can access it now by going here, and it's just a link to your website. But really, if you just bought hosting, you're gonna have to wait 2 to 3 hours for your website to work. If you bought hosting like yesterday or something, then your website will work immediately. We just purchased our hosting, so we have to wait a couple hours until our website works. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a break right now and wait a couple of hours and then come back and then see if it works. So I will take a break right now and I will talk to you soon. Alright, so now I'm back from my break, and it's really important to keep your username and password safe. If you lose it, you can either do HostGator live chat, or a lot of the times they will email you your password instantly after you do this. So check your email, but if you have it right here, great. Now we can go ahead and check our website. So we'll click here, and we'll wait for our website to go, and there is our website. So you probably just saved yourself about $500. I know some web developers who charge $500 just to do the WordPress installation, which is ridiculous. So we have it here, and this is our sample website. We're going to make it look much better. So there's a sample page on it up here, and it's just sample dummy text. It's not anything real. So in order to change all of this stuff, we have to actually log into WordPress. So the way we do that is we go back to our quick install, and we see that our username is Ted and our password is this this long password right here. So we can copy it. And what we do is we go to yourwebsite.com/WP-admin. So yourwebsite.com/WP-admin. And go ahead and click enter. And it's asking for our username. If you remember, our username is Ted, so we can just type in Ted right here. And our password, this is our password. We can go ahead and copy it and paste it in right there. Then click login. Alright, so now we are logged in, and we can exit some of these prompts. We can, after we've printed or kept this information safe, we can actually exit it and exit our email. And basically what I like to do now is just some website checks to make sure that we're on the same page. One of the best things to do now is to change your password. So just click on users and find your username and go ahead and click on it. And scroll down and change your password. So instead of that really long, confusing password that you can't memorize, do something that's equally as hard but easy for you to memorize. So I'm just going to put in a new password here, and I'm going to click update profile. So now you have a new password to go along with your username. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off caching. Now, you don't need to know exactly what caching is, but basically it helps speed up your website, but the downside of it is you don't see your website updates immediately. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go to settings, and WP Supercache. Now, if you don't see WP Supercache here, then you don't have anything to worry about. But since we see it here, we have to go to it and click on the Easy tab and turn off caching. Again, this is just to make sure that everyone's on the same page. You don't need to know exactly what's going on. So once we have caching off, we're gonna click Update Status. Now sometimes, but it's pretty rare, this doesn't turn off caching. So you're making updates to your website and you're not seeing changes, and it's really frustrating. So what you have to do if that happens is go to Plugins and find WP Supercache and actually deactivate it. And then go one step further and press delete. So if you're not seeing updates on your website, then you need to delete caching. And you can press yes, delete these files and data. All right, so now that we have WP Supercache gone, the next check that we need to do to make sure everyone's on the same page is to make sure that our links are set up properly. So we want to go to Settings and then Permalinks. So Settings, Permalinks. And what this does, it's going to make sure our links are search engine friendly and human friendly. So sometimes when WordPress installs, it does the default link structure, which makes this question mark P equals 123 instead of yourwebsite.com/about or yourwebsite.com/home or /services. So you want it to have in your page name and not just numbers in your links. So make sure it's on post name or something else, but not default. So just click on post name and click Save Changes. So most of you, these checks will be all there, but I just want to make sure everyone's on the same page so no one's getting confused about anything. Once we do that, we can go back to our dashboard.
And now that we've installed our WordPress, we have to now get a new theme. So let's do that now. And I think the theme is one of the most important pieces to our website puzzle. So let's go over to wpexplorer.com. WP Explorer is a company that makes premium themes, which just means they're themes for WordPress that cost money, but they also make a few free themes. So let's get a free theme right now. Go to Themes, and under Find a Theme, let's click Free. And I'm just going to leave a link to this in the description to this theme, so you don't have to do all this. But the theme is called Tetris right here. Let's click that. And then it's going to say Login to download. So click that. And then I'm already a member, but if you need to create an account, just type in your username, email, first, last, and password, and continue on after you log in. So I'm just going to log in here. And actually head back to Themes, Free, and click, where is it? Tetris, right here. So let's download it. And just throw it on your desktop if it isn't already. And let's head back to our WordPress dashboard. All right, from here, let's install this theme by going over to Appearance, Themes, Install Themes, and let's click Upload right here. Choose Files, and I'm going to go to my desktop and find tetris.zip. So this is what we just downloaded. I'm going to open it up, click Install Now. And hopefully it says theme installed successfully. After that, click activate. And you'll see it activated now. So if we go to our website, we'll actually see that the whole look of the website has changed. But we're not quite done installing this theme. What we have to do first is get a few plugins that this theme comes with. So let's click begin installing plugins. And under the options framework plugin, click install. And after it says successfully installed, return. And then we have to activate that plugin. So click activate. Now we have to install this Soliloquy plugin, and this one's going to be a little bit different because if you click install, you are going to get an error. So let's do this the old-fashioned way, and let's copy the Soliloquy name. Let's head over to Google and type in Soliloquy WordPress plugin. And it's going to be this top one right here. I'm also going to leave a link in the description to this. And click download right here. Once it's done downloading, throw it on your desktop and head back to your dashboard. Go over to plugins, and we're going to install a plugin right now. So let's click add new, upload, and let's click choose files. And let's click the Soliloquy light.zip file right here. Click open, install now. Once that's installed, make sure to activate it. And you'll notice you'll have a new Soliloquy tab over here. What Soliloquy is the image slider, which is going to be on the home page and maybe some other pages of our website. And speaking of pages, let's jump right into adding some pages to our website. So our pages are going to be about, services, the home page, and a get an estimate page. And that menu is going to be up here. And if you click on any of those links, it's going to bring you to that page. So let's go over to our dashboard and let's go to pages and let's click add new. So for now, I just want to add a few blank pages to our website and show you how that works. So let's first make a home page. So this is the page that you're going to get to when you first go to ecostarpainting.com or yourwebsite.com. So I'm just going to type in home. I'm just going to leave this blank for now, and we'll add stuff later, and click publish. Next, let's add an about me page. So I'm going to add, and actually this is going to be about us. So I'm going to publish that. Then I'm going to add another page, which is going to be the services page. Publish that. And then I am going to add a page called get an estimate. So I'm going to type in get an estimate, and I am going to publish that. So let's check out our website and see if any changes have been made. And we'll notice that nothing shows up yet. So let's get those pages. So right now we do have those pages on our website, but we haven't created the menu which those pages are going to show up on, which is going to be up here, our navigation menu. So let's do that now, and let's create a navigation menu. So let's go back to our dashboard, and let's go to Appearance, Menus, and this is where we can manage our navigation menus. So we first have to create a new one by clicking right over here and just typing in main menu. And it actually doesn't matter what you call it. Click create. And then over here under theme locations, we have to select main menu because we just created that. Now we have to add all of the pages that we want to, in our menu to our menu. So let's go down here to pages, and I'm just going to check off every page that I just made, which is home, about us, services, and get an estimate. And I'm going to click add to menu. So you'll see all of them get added to the menu. And if we click save and refresh our website, we'll notice a brand new menu up here. The only problem is I want my home page to be first and all of these menu items to be rearranged. So let's rearrange those menu items by going over to the menu manager and clicking and dragging each menu item where you want it. So that looks about right. I'm going to save it and refresh my page. And you'll notice the order of our menu has been changed. There is only one problem though, and that problem is this homepage, if you go to ecostarpainting.com, isn't this page right here. It is not this homepage. You'll notice that it looks a little bit different. So let's change that. Let's make it so when you go to ecostarpainting.com, it goes to this page right here. So right now it's actually going to, by default, WordPress makes it a blog page. You'll notice this is a blog post right here. Let's change it to a static page. So let's go over to settings, reading, and you'll notice it says front page displays your latest posts, and let's just change that to a static page. So let's click that, and then we'll set the front page to the home page that we created. And EcoStar Painting is not going to have a blog, which is the post page, so I'm just going to leave this as select, which is nothing. So I'm going to save that. Now if we go to ecostarpainting.com, it will now be the actual home page. So the first thing that I want to change on our new homepage is this right here. It says welcome to blog of AJ Clark, and that I guess is probably the creator of this theme. I just want to totally get rid of this whole box. So to do that, let's go over to Appearance, Theme Options, and right down here under Homepage Subtitle, let's just erase it and click Save. So let's refresh that, and that looks pretty good. The next thing that I want to do is change this homepage to a full width template. And what that means is it's not going to have this sidebar right here. I don't want my homepage to have that. I want it to be nice and simple. So let's get rid of that sidebar and change our homepage to a full width template. So let's go over to Pages, and let's click the home page, and under template, select full width, click update, and refresh. So you'll notice it looks nice and blank. And the first thing that I want to do is add an image slider. And the image slider is going to be up here on the top, and in this case it's going to have some nice pictures of Ted painting some houses and maybe some of his work. So let's go over to our dashboard, and let's go over to Soliloquy right here. This is the plugin that we installed, and let's click Add New. So the first thing that you want to do is give your new slider a name. I'm going to call this one Homepage Slider. The next thing you want to do before you start uploading your images is change the size so it fits our website. So our website width is going to be, or our slider width is going to be 960 pixels. So just type in 960, and over here type in 330. So now we can start uploading some pictures. So let's click here to upload images. And then I'm going to select my files and select this picture right here. So I'm going to open that up. And once that's done uploading, and it's taking a sec, I'm just going to click Insert into Slider. So you'll notice that it shows up right here. And let's click Publish. And no changes on our website will be made just yet. We have to set the homepage slider to this new slider that we just created. So let's do that by going to Appearance, Theme Options, and right here where it says Homepage Soliloquy Slider, let's click Homepage Slider, and this is the slider that we just made, and click Save. So now when we refresh this website, hopefully we'll have a brand new slider up here at the top. So let's try it out. And it works. The only problem is that it's way too long. It's way too big down here. What we have to do is crop this image. So to crop an image in WordPress, just head over to the Media tab right here. Click Library and click Edit over the image you want to crop. From there, under the image, you'll see a button that says Edit Image. Click that. And this is where we can crop our image. So what you have to do is just make a general selection of kind of where you want to crop. And then under right here where it says Selection, we're going to change it to 960 by 330. And this is the size of our soliloquy slider. So then I'm just going to just drag this little box, this is our crop box, to where I want to crop the image. So right there looks about right. And then I'm going to click the crop button. So that's right here. That'll crop it. But we're not done yet. What we have to do is click Save and then click Update. So now if we go over to our website, we'll have a new slider and it looks pretty good. But this is not the slide that I want to use. I was just using that as an example to show you how to crop an image. I actually have some slides that I made earlier, so I'm just going to add those in. So let's delete this one by going to our Soliloquy tab, hitting the homepage slider, and clicking this minus button right here. Then I'm going to upload my images. So I'm going to click here, select files, go into my folder, which is, first I have to unzip it, and I'm going to open it right here. So I'm just going to upload this slide right here. Click open. And I'm going to actually give it a title of Eco Star Painting. And I'm going to click Insert into Slider. So I'm going to do that for the rest of these images by doing the same exact thing. So I'm going to upload slide 2. I'm going to insert and do that one more time. And actually I forgot to add the EcoStar Painting title to the second slide. So I'm going to do that by clicking this pencil button right here and editing the image title. And I will show you what that title does when we check out our website. So now if we update our website, and go to it. We should have 3 nice slides, and you can slide through each one. And all the title is when you hover over with your mouse, you'll see EcoStar Painting right next to the cursor. So I also want to show you how I made these all this text and this little box to show up on my slides. And all I did was I headed over to pixlr.com, that's pixlr.com, went to the Pixlr editor, I clicked open image from computer, and I'll just use this as an example. So I'm going to open that up, and then all you have to do is create a new layer. So just click this button right here, that'll make a new layer. And then we have to click this marquee tool right here and make a little box. So I'm just going to click and drag, and I'm going to select a white color. You can select any color for this, obviously, but I'm going to select a color down here, set it to white, click OK, click the paint tool, and paint a nice little white box. And then I'm going to lower the opacity. So I want this box to be a little bit see-through. And I'm just going to click this button right here, lower the opacity. And then I'm going to write some text on top of this box. To do that, just hit this A button right here, the type tool. And then click where you want your text to show up. So I'm just going to click right here. And I'm going to write some text. You can change the color by clicking color right here. I think I chose a dark green similar to this for this website. And you can also change the size and font. So that's how I did it. And you can do that too on your slides. So let's close this up. And the next thing that I want to do is start changing some colors on our website. So I don't want this box up here to be black, and I don't want this one to be black either. And I also want to change the color of these links. So to do that, it's a little more complicated, but I'll walk you through it, and all you have to do is just copy exactly what I do. So we have to edit some CSS. And what CSS is just the styling coding of our website, and you'll see what I mean. So let's go over to the dashboard, appearance, editor, and then you'll see style sheet, and it'll say style.css. So you'll see all this code. You don't really need to know anything about it. This is just the code that makes this website look the way it does. So first thing to do is change this big black box up here, and all I am going to do is just hit Command F if you're on a Mac, Control F if you're on a PC. That'll bring up this search bar right here. And then type in a number sign and type in header. So if you scroll down a little bit, you'll see this header right here. It'll say / asterisk header */ and then what you want to edit is this color right here. So the background, it says $111. I'm going to change that number sign to a color I already have, which is that. This code is just codes for your colors. So if you head over to Google and type in hex color codes, you'll have all these different options of colors to choose from. You can also get a custom color by going to a site like this and finding where you want, how dark, how light. And then what you want to do is copy this color and then go into your style sheet and paste it in right where this number is right here. It says background, number sign, then just paste in your color right after that number sign. So let's do the same for, let's first see if that works. So let's update and refresh. So now we have a nice green, and that looks pretty good. Next, I want to do the same thing for this bottom part, which is called the footer. So let's go back to the theme editor and let's hit Command or Control F again. And let's type in footer space main. And then you'll see this little hashtag in the footer right here. And what you want to find is the background color. So it's going to say background hashtag 111, and that hashtag 111 is the number we want to change. So I'm just going to paste in my color code, and you can paste in any color code you want. And then I am going to hit update file. So let's refresh our page. And now our footer is a nice green. So now we have another problem, which is that this menu up here, our links are gray and they aren't really showing up on the green. So let's change them to white. So let's go back to the theme editor and let's type in SF dash menu space A. And it's not going to be this first one, so you're going to have to hit enter again. And you'll see this one that says hashtag navigation.sf menu A. And you'll see right here it says color hashtag AAA. And you can change this to any color, but I want mine to be white, and I already know the code for white, so I'm just going to type in FFF and hit update file. So let's refresh that, and that looks pretty good. So the next thing that I want to change is this orange color. I want to change this to a dark green. So let's do that now, and let's go to the theme editor. Let's hit Command or Control F, and then we have to type in current dash menu dash item, and it's going to be this top one right here. So it says background hashtag E73. So we're going to change that to a dark green, and I know the code, so I'm just going to paste it in like so, and update my file, and refresh. Alright, so that looks pretty good. It's not a dark green, it's a light green. And there's one more thing I want to change up here, which is when you hover over these links, I want them to change color. I want them to darken a little bit just to give this website a little more action or make it a little more alive. So let's do that by going to the theme editor and then hitting Command or Control F and typing period SF dash menu space a greater than sign, and then typing in li and a space, another greater than sign, and then let's type in space a colon hover. So it's going to be this one that says navigation SF menu LIA hover. So it says when you hover over this, it's going to change to white. I want to change it to dark gray. So let's do that by getting our code. So I'm just going to copy it from over here, and I am going to paste it in like that. So let's update that, refresh it, and see if when we hover over these links they change color. And they do, but that is not the right color. So actually I want to change it to a dark gray. So it's going to be DF, 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 DF. And that should do the trick. So let's update and refresh. And that looks pretty good. Alright, so next up is the logo. Let's change this logo into a custom logo. And I'm not going to walk you through exactly how I made this logo because I have a video on my channel on how to make a logo, so I'm just going to refer you to that video. But once you have your .png file, and you'll know what I mean if you don't right now when you watch that video, just head over to Appearance, Theme Options, and here's where we can upload our custom logo. So I'm just going to click Upload, select Files, go to my folder, and upload my logo. So I'm going to open that up and click Select. So once I've done that, hit Save Options, and let's refresh. All right, that's looking really good now. So after that, I want to, before we start adding content on our homepage, I don't want this to say home, and I actually don't want it to say any of the page names right here, how it says about us in this little box. I actually want this little box to say Ted's phone number, and it's going to say call us for a free estimate. So let's do that now by heading over to the editor again. Let's go to Appearance, Editor. And then what we want to do is go to the full width template, and you'll see that right down here at the bottom right here. Click that, and then we're going to have to search for, let's search for page dash heading. And you'll see that right here, it'll say div ID equals page heading. And between these H1 tags right there and right there, we're just going to erase all of this where it says PHP, the title, and these less than and greater than signs. Make sure not to erase the H1 greater than signs. Make sure those are little tags that look like this. So you want it to look just like that, and then you can type in your message if you want to change this. So I'm just going to say, call us for a free estimate. And I'm going to write Ted's phone number. And then I am going to actually copy this because we have to do it one more time. So I'm going to update that. And that should change the home page because we selected the full width template on the home page. So let's check it out. And let's go to the home page. And right here it says I spelled estimate wrong, but it did work, so let's change that. Estimage. Estimate. Alrighty. So let's check that out. And that looks great. But now if we go to one of these pages, it still displays this little title up here. So let's do the same thing. Let's go to our appearance editor page, and then we want to go to the page template. So it says page template right here. Let's click that, and we're going to do the same thing, or just find it right here where it says page dash heading. Let's erase all of this, and between the H1 tags I'm going to type in my misspelled sentence. Alright, and let's click update, and let's refresh this page and see if it works, and indeed it does. Alright, so now we're done with most of the styling for the website, and we can start adding some content to the home page. And the home page is going to have 3 columns of images that say some features about Ted's company. So let's do that, and before we get started, we have to get a plugin, and the plugin is called Visual Composer. So if you head over to codecanyon.net, and up here type in Visual Composer, it'll come up as this first one right here. And it does cost $25, but I really like this plugin. I think it's definitely worth it, and I'm going to leave a link in the description. But I already purchased this, so I'm going to download it and throw it on my desktop. If you haven't purchased this or are not a member of Code Canyon, you have to sign up and pay for this. So I'm going to download it, and I am going to throw it on my desktop and close this up, and then you have to unzip it. So I'm going to double click it, and now I have that folder on my desktop. And then we have to install this plugin. So let's go to plugins, add new, click upload, choose files, head over to your desktop, hit the Visual Composer folder, and then open up the jscomposer.zip file right here. Click open and click install now. And then after it successfully installs, click activate. And now we have the Visual Composer editor. So to use it, let's go over to Pages, and let's go to the home page. And now we'll have a new button up here that says Visual Composer. So let's press it, and then let's add an element, or actually let's add a row. So we're going to add a little row, and then let's add 3 columns with 3 images and some text. So let's do that by making 3 columns with this button right here. Just hover over it and then select this 1/3, 1/3, 1/3 button. And then I'm going to click this plus right here and add in a text block. So text block. And then I am going to delete this text, and then I'm going to add my title to this column. So it's going to say, hello, I'm Ted. And I want to make this a big font, so I'm going to highlight it, hit this button right here. That'll bring up some more options. And then I'm going to hit this drop down menu and press heading 2. So that'll make it nice and big. Then I'm going to make another line right underneath it by hitting enter. And I'm going to paste in some text. So paste that in right there. And then I want to add an image. So I'm going to hit enter right here and put my cursor right up here, and then click add media. I'm going to upload a picture of Ted. So let's upload this. And I'm going to change this title to Eco Star Painting. Set the alignment to none. The link to none, because when you click it, I don't want it to link to anything. And for the size, we're going to use full size 280 by 236. I already cropped these, and I used the same method I showed you earlier to crop images. So you want to use an image around 280 by 236. Click insert into page, and let's save that. And let's see if that works. So I'm going to click update. And let's refresh this page. And that looks pretty good. So let's do that 2 more times for the 2 columns right here and right here. So the next one is going to be another text block. So just click the plus, click text block. Let's add your title. And this one is going to be protect, renew, and beautify. Highlight it. Make it a heading 2. Hit enter. I'm going to paste in this text. And then hit enter right here, make a new line, and add my picture. So it's going to be this one right here. Let's change it to Eco Star Painting. And let's change the link to none, making sure to use a full-size image around 280 by 236 and insert it into the page. Save it and update it. See if that works. That looks great. Let's add one more. Plus text block. Let's add our title. Let's make that nice and big. Hit enter. Paste in this little paragraph and add the image to the top. I'm going to change the title again and set the link to none. So insert that, let's save that, and let's update that. refresh it, and that is looking really good. So the last finishing touch for the homepage is going to be a little call to action button which says click here to learn about our services, and it's going to be right below these images and this text. So let's do that. Let's head over to the homepage and then we're going to add another row. So let's click add row, and it'll add a little row right here. And then let's click the plus, and let's add a call to action button. And that's going to be right here. And let's give it some text. It's going to say, learn more about our services. And I am going to change the text on the button so it says, click here. And the URL, this is where it's going to be linked to, is going to be to the services page. So I'm going to click the services page, highlight it, and copy it, the URL up here. And I'm just going to paste it in right there. I'm going to change the color, or let's keep it on gray. I think gray will work. And the icon, you can choose an icon, but I don't think I'm going to use any icons for this one. And the size is going to be large. And I think that's all we need to do. So let's save that and let's see how it looks. Let's go to the home page. And right down here, we should have a nice learn more about our services. I actually want to change this button to black. So let's do that. Let's go in here. Let's click this edit button right here. And under color, let's choose black. So let's save that. And refresh it. All right, that looks good. It's a little more visible now. So next up is the About Us page. Now the About Us page is going to be really, really simple. All it's going to be is an image of Ted, a couple paragraphs, and maybe another call to action right below that. So let's do that. Let's go over to Pages and click About Us. And then I'm just going to add in some of this text that I already have. This is dummy text, and Ted, if you're watching this, you're going to have to change this into some information about you and your company. And then I want to add an image on the left side of the page. So to do that, let's place your cursor at the very beginning of the sentence, right before the first letter. Click Add Media. Click Upload Files. Select your file, and it's going to be this one for me. I'm going to open that up and give it a title of Ted Rinshed. Set the alignment, now this is the important part, to left. This will make it so it's formatted so the image is on the left hand side of the screen and the text is on the right. And you'll see what I mean in just a second. Let's hit the link to none, and then the size is going to be full size 285 by 356. Now I already cropped this one as well, so if you want to do a page like this, just crop it to 285 to 356 or something similar. So insert that, and you'll notice that the image will be on the left, the text will be on the right, and then the last thing we need to do is set the template to full width and hit update. So that looks really good. The next thing I want to do is add a call to action, which brings you to the Get an Estimate page. So let's do that, and let's head back over to the About Us page, and then we're going to hit the Visual Composer. So now our Visual Composer is turned on. Let's add a call to action button by hitting Add Row. That'll add a row down here. Hit the plus and hit the call to action button. And then it under the text, let's type in call Ted's number, or fill out the form for a free estimate. And then it's gonna say, for the button, it's gonna say get an estimate. The link is going to take us to the get an estimate page. So I'm gonna just go to that page, copy the URL, and paste it in. And we are going to set the color to black again. The icon is going to be, let's see if they have a contact icon or a mail icon. Here it goes, mail icon. I'm going to set the size to large, and everything else is going to be default. So let's update that, and let's go to our About Us page. And let's check it out. All right, that looks pretty good. So we have his number, and we have get an estimate. So the next page is the services page. Now the services page is going to be pretty simple. It's going to have a big picture up here of a nice looking freshly painted home, which I found a picture of at iStock Photo, and I'll leave a link in the description for that. And then it's going to have a bunch of rows and columns of different services and a small description of each service below the title. So let's do that now. First thing to change is to change this into a full width template. So that's done over here. Let's go to pages, and let's go to the services page. And let's, under template, hit full width. And the first thing that I want to do is click update, and I'm going to add a new slider. So let's go over to the Soliloquy tab right here. Let's click add new. And this one's going to be called services slider. Very creative, I know. And I'm going to upload my image, which is going to be this one right here. I'm going to change the title to Eco Star Painting. And I am going to click Insert into Slider, and make sure to change the slider size to 960 by 330. And after that, I think that completes it. So let's click Publish. And then what you want to do is go down here, and you'll see this little short code right here. It says Soliloquy ID equals 41, and it's going to be different for everyone. What I want you to do is copy everything, including the brackets. Just copy that. And that's called short code. So if we go over to our services page, it's going to be right here, and paste in this short code, it's going to tell WordPress to bring up the new Soliloquy slider that we just made. So let's test that out. Let's click update after we pasted that in, and refresh our page. So now we have a nice slider right here at the top. The next thing that I want to do is start adding a list of all of Ted's services. So let's do that by adding a new Visual Composer, clicking that. And then let's add a new row right below the slider. Add a row. And then let's start adding some text blocks. So I'm going to click this. And actually, it's not going to be a text block. It's going to be WP text, because with WP text, you can give it a nice looking title. So let's click that. Widget title is going to be called, and I'm just going to paste this in, Interior and Exterior Residential. I'm going to paste that in and paste in the text and click save. What I want to do is actually add some more columns. So I'm going to add 3 columns by hitting this, and do the same for the next 3, or the next 2. So I'm going to add another WP text, paste in my title, paste in my description, save it, do the same, WP text, and add my paragraph. And I'm going to save that. So let's see how that's looking. Let's update that and refresh our services page. And that looks pretty good. So I'm going to add actually 2 more rows of 3. So it's going to be one down here and one right below it of more services just like this. So let's do that and let's click add row. That'll add a row. Let's make it a 3 column. Click plus and click WP text. Add our title and paste in our paragraph. Again, oops, I clicked text block, so I'm going to cancel that and click this X to delete it. Click plus, WP text, paste it in, and paste that in. And again. Alright, let's update that and see if that's working out fine. And that looks excellent. Let's do one more row of 3. So add row, make it into thirds, and click this plus, WP text, and actually this one needs a period at the end of the sentence, so I'm going to click the pencil tool to edit it and add a period, and one more. Alright, so let's see how that looks. And that looks fantastic. So that's our services page. And the next page that we're going to be working on is the get an estimate page.
So this page is pretty cool. Our goal here is for someone to either call or fill out a form in order to get an estimate, and so Ted can give people a quote and he can get a lot of business. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and click on edit page. So just click on edit page. And again, we're going to be using this Visual Composer. So just click on the Visual Composer. And we're going to click add element. So go ahead and click add element. And the element that we want to add is a message box, because first we're going to have all of Ted's different information here. So we just click on message box. And we actually already have some pre-formatted information. I mean, not pre-formatted. We already have some of his content, so we're just going to paste this in here. And what we can do is actually just bold all of this information here. So just highlight it, bold, so it sticks out. So it's really easy for the eye to follow. Alright, so we just bold it and then we'll press save. And actually what we did is we did the wrong message box, so we're going to click edit again. And instead of informational, we're going to do success. Then click save. And you can see that it turned from blue to green, and we'll click update. And it's always good to see your progress. So now we're just going to view our page and see what that did. Alright, so it gave us a pretty cool informational box right here. The next thing that we want to do is make it so that it says get a quote right here. So it's going to have get a quote right here, and then there's going to be a form to fill out. So I'm just going to click edit page again. And I'm going to add another element. And this time it's going to be text block. No, I'm sorry. It's going to be WP text. No, actually it's going to be text block. Sorry about that. All these text things are confusing me. All right, text block. Sorry about that. And we're actually going to write get a quote within 6 hours. And I'm doing that because a lot of people, they want it instantly. So 6 hours is pretty quick, and that will be really good. So next what we want to do is we want to highlight it and then choose paragraph in heading 1. And then we want to make it go to the left. So we're going to click align left right here. So just go ahead and click that. And what we want to do now, in order for it to match the same sort of text that we have, let me show you. In order to have it this sort of text, we need to do a little bit of coding. And I'll give you more resources at the end of this video on how to learn more coding. But for now, you can just type in what we want. So we're going to match this sort of font. And in order to do that, we need to do a little bit of code. So once you've clicked left in H1, just go to text. And we need to add some things after this semicolon right here. So the things we need to add are font dash family and do a colon and then a single quote and type in open, OPEN, SANS, and another quote, and then a semicolon. So I know this is kind of weird, but that makes it the Open Sans font, which is the same font as this. If it wasn't the Open Sans font, it would look more like this. All right, so we do that, and then the next thing that we want to do is the color. So we're going to do color, and then a colon, and a number or pound sign, and then it's going to be 8F878D. So that'll give us that green color that we're looking for. Then we'll do a semicolon. The next thing we want to do is font, FONT, dash weight, WEIGHT, colon, 100. What this does is it makes it so that it's not really bold. So it's very light. You see how this text is thin and light and not bold like this? The font weight 100 makes it thinner and lighter rather than 3, 4, 500, or 600, which makes it bolder. All right? So we do that, and then don't forget the semicolon. And after that, we're going to do font size. So that's pretty self-explanatory. It's how big the font is. So FONT-SIZE, and we can do a colon, and then we can do 30 px. Px stands for pixels, and that's how computers measure things. All right, then we could do a semicolon, and I believe we are done with that. So we can press save. All right, and it says get a quote within 6 hours. Let's update it, and let's see what that looks like. All right, so it did it, and I must have did the code wrong because it isn't that light green that we're looking for. It's actually a gray color, so we can actually go ahead and change that to the light green color. Let me just take my color picker here and get a light green. All right. So what we can do is we can go ahead and edit this. and highlight it and go back to the text and see if where we messed up. I think this one's supposed to be an A actually. So let's save that. Oh, there we go. Sorry. So it was 8FA78D instead of 8F8. So 8FA. Press save and press update. And now we'll have that nice green color. No color picker needed. So there it is, much better. All right, so our next thing that we need to do is we need to put in a quote form here. But before that, let's actually get rid of this comment, submit a comment, because we don't want people submitting comments here. So we'll go ahead and press edit page. And we'll go to screen options up here. We'll make sure discussion and comments are checked. Then you can minimize this and scroll down and then uncheck allow comments, allow trackbacks, and click update. Now if we go to view page, we should see that that comment area is gone, and it is. So there's nothing here now. Now it just leaves a space for this contact form. So that's what we'll do next. So we can go ahead and press edit page, close these pages if we want. And what we're going to do is we're going to get a new plugin, and this plugin is going to allow us to make a contact form. So we'll just go to plugins and click add new and type in contact form 7. It's my favorite contact form on WordPress, and it's free, so the price is right. Then click search plugins. Now we see this contact form 7, and we can click install now and press OK. Make sure it has good stars, and we can click activate plugin. All right, now our plugin is activated. We can go back to our pages. And actually, before we do that, we're going to go to the contact plugin. So just click on contact. And we'll see our contact form. So what we're going to do is we're going to edit our contact form a little bit. So we can go ahead and click on it. And later, Ted is going to have to change this to his email address, so it emails him from his email address. All right, so this is how the contact form works. Here's a little bit of HTML code and some short codes, and I'll explain that in just a second. What we want to do actually is we want to keep the your name field and keep the your email field. We don't want them to get a subject field, so we're just going to take that away. So what we can do is just take this away right here. And we want it, instead of saying your message, it's going to say, what do you need painted? Or it could say, you know, what services do you need? That's probably even better. What services do you need? All right, because Ted does more than painting. He also does pressure washing and different things like that. All right, and then we're going to go down here and instead of message body, this is the email that sends to us. So instead of message body, we're going to say what services they need. And it's not going to have a subject, so we can actually get rid of that if we want to. And here, instead of your subject, we're going to put quote form. So it's going to email us. The subject is going to be quote form. All right, and we can actually get rid of this. And yeah, that's it. And then we click save. So we've edited our form so that it is exactly how we want, and let's see if it works. So the way we do that is we can just copy this short code right here. This is what contains our form. So just copy it right there and go to Pages. And let's find our Get an Estimate page and click Edit. And below here, we're going to add another element. So add element. And this time it's going to be the contact form. And we only have one contact form here. And just click Save. All right. So let's click Update and let's see if it works. Now we can go to View Page. And we see that we have a contact form. So it has your name, your email, and then what services do you need. So we edited it so that it doesn't have a subject in here. And we can go ahead and put it in, and it will email us. So it says get a quote within 6 hours, and we can do that. So we can press send, and then we can go ahead and it says your message was sent successfully, and that will land in our email inbox. Right here has too big of a space right here for me though, so let's edit that. So let's go to Edit Page again. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to try to drag this contact form in here so that it doesn't have such a big page. So just drag it right in, and then we can exit this, and we can update. And now hopefully if we go and look at it, it'll have less of a gap, which it does. So that's much better, much better. All right, so now that we have that going on, the next thing that we need to do is put in a service area right here. So I want a big map right here instead of all of this random stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and edit this sidebar. That's what that's called, this sidebar. So what we can do is we can go back to our dashboard. And we can go to Appearance, then Widgets. And we can take out all of these widgets. So we're just going to take out this one. Just click, hold, and drag to the center. And now when we check our site, we click Get an Estimate, all of those sidebar widgets are gone. So instead of it being gone and blank, we actually want to fill it with a map. So what we're going to do is we're going to drag in a text or HTML. So just drag that in all the way into our sidebar, and this is going to be called Service Area, because Ted only does painting, obviously, in certain areas. He's not going to travel across the world to paint your house. So it's called Service Area, and now we need to put in a map here. The way we can do that is we can open up a new tab here, and we can go to maps.google.com. So this is a pretty good service that allows you to embed some maps. So I'm just going to type in Ted's service area, which is Calgary, Alberta, in Canada. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click this link button up here. And I'm going to say Customize and Preview Embedded Map. So what I'm going to do is, instead of the width being 425, because that's too big for our sidebar area, hold on, let me resize to fit that area. So instead of it being medium here, because the width is too big, I'm going to actually press Custom, and I'm going to put it about, the width should be about 250 pixels by 625 pixels. So it's thin and long. So I will put that right here. And that looks like it will probably fit right in there. So what I'm going to do is just scroll down once I have it customized. And I'm going to copy and paste this code here. So I'm just going to click all of it, double click or triple click, and right click on it and press copy. And I can exit this out now. Go back to my widgets, right click and paste. And then click save. All right, once I do that, I can go back to my estimate page, refresh, and hope that it works, which it does. So we have our services area right there, which is pretty cool. And we can have this button here, view larger map, but actually I don't want that to appear here because I don't want it bringing visitors off of Ted's website. So I'm actually going to get rid of that by going back to my widgets and finding the code that displays that. So from this small, so it's a lesson sign and then small, all the way down to the end, to the other small, we're going to press delete, and we're going to get rid of this BR also. All right, so it ends in iframe with a greater than sign. Then we're going to click save, and we're going to refresh our website, and we're going to see that now that is looking pretty darn good. All right, so we're done with this page. We're going to go back home, and Ted had actually mentioned that he wanted some social icons up here, linking to his Facebook, Google+, Pinterest, Twitter, and YouTube. So we're actually going to go ahead and do that now. We can close these tabs, and we can go to our dashboard, and we can go to appearance and theme options. Now we can click on our social tab up here. And what we can do is we can find all the different social media places, and we can add it. So here's Facebook. So I'm gonna go ahead and copy and paste Facebook's link. And we can go ahead and find Google. I'm gonna go ahead and copy and paste his Google. And we're gonna find Pinterest. Go ahead and copy and paste his Pinterest. And I think you're getting the point of this. And we can find his Twitter. Go ahead and copy and paste his Twitter. And my favorite, which is YouTube, we can go ahead and copy and paste his YouTube. Once we do that, we can press Save Options, and we can visit his website, and we see that all of his social icons are up here. So we can click on his page and we can see his social media accounts. All right, that's pretty cool, and it opens up in a new tab so that you're not navigating away from people. So that's pretty awesome. The next thing that we're going to do is do a little something that will make it a little more SEO friendly. If we go over here, we can see that the title of this website is Eco Star Painting. What we're going to do is we're going to add a dash in the Eco Star, and we're going to actually add his location so that it's hyper located for people who are searching locally. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the dashboard, and what we're going to do is we're going to go to settings and to general. And now what we're going to do is we're going to, with the site title, we're going to add a dash here and another dash here, and we're going to add in his area. So it is Calgary, comma, Alberta. And then we're going to click Save Changes. So now if we go back to his website, and we could do this on any of the pages, we can see if we hover over this, it'll say get an estimate, and then I'll have a pipe symbol, and then I'll say EcoStar Painting, Calgary, Alberta, which is exactly what we want. That's really good for the search engines to know that which area you service. So that's really awesome. Now we can go back to the homepage. All right, so now we can check over our website to see if there's anything that we need to fix about it. But I think we're pretty much done. Let's look. Oh, actually here it says click here when it should say services or learn more about our services. We can go ahead and edit page and go down here, press the edit button, and instead of click here, it can say our services. All right, and then click update and visit our site. And now I'm sure that we are done and completed. Just check it out. It is looking really good. Congratulations. You did an awesome job, I'm sure. Send me your website. I would love to see it. The next thing that I want to do is give Ted 10 tips that I really think will expand and help his business. Now, maybe not all these tips will work, but maybe one of them will be really, really great, and that's the one that I think you should focus on, Ted, obviously. All right, so tip number 1 is to actually do partnerships with real estate agents, interior designers, and general contractors. And I know that Ted's doing this already. He has a list of about 350 real estate agents that he is actively mailing, because real estate agents don't just send you, one client. If you get in good with a lot of real estate agents, they can send you 10 clients a year. So you only need a few of those people to send you a whole bunch of clients. So that's really good that he's getting people like that can send him a lot of clients. My dad actually does this. He is a contractor, and he has a general contractor that sends him about 60% of his work. So getting in with just, one person that can send you a lot of work is a really good idea. So go meet with them, go be their friends, get to know them. That is a really killer idea, and Ted's already doing that. So good job, Ted. The second idea I have is to make your own affiliate type program. Obviously, you have to check with your laws in your area. But what I'm saying is print out a program that says if you send us 10 customers every month, you will get, $1,000. If you send us, 10 a week, you will get $4,000 per month. And people can refer you that way. They can not only refer a really good person, but they can make some good money. So that's another good idea. Or give them a percent of what you earn on the job. Number 3, and this one's really easy, is go to somewhere like Craigslist. I don't know how popular it is in Canada, but here it's pretty popular. Just go on Craigslist and put in your website and put in a picture of the jobs you've done, and obviously a picture of you, Ted. People want to see you there. They don't want to invite someone to their house that they don't get a good feeling about. But you have a very trustworthy face, so that's really good. So that's tip 3. Tip 4 is to do Google AdWords. I believe HostGator gives you about $75 free in Google AdWords. And what Google AdWords is if we go to google.com, it's their paid listing. So we can type in Los Angeles painters, and we see that there are different ads up here. So you have $75 for free from Google. Check and see if that works. That's a really good idea. And check what other people are saying. And, don't copy them, but see what, is best, and definitely take note. All right, so that's tip number 4. Tip number 5 is create a mailing list. And I know that Ted's already doing this. He already has a mailing list of those real estate agent people again. So create a mailing list. You can do this with MailChimp or Aweber. Both good. MailChimp is free, so you can just go to mailchimp.com and sign up people to your email list. So start building a list and start sending people out good tips, good things, and always keep them on top of their mind. So that's really good. Also have a real mailing list, for your past clients, different people. Send them something, physical in the mail. People don't get that a lot, in these email days. So that really means a lot, especially if something is handwritten. So that was tip number 5. Tip number 6 is create more pages on your website by going to new page and do it for each of your small areas. So maybe in Huntington Hills or Pembroke Meadows, have a page about that. So maybe put in painting Huntington Hills or painter Huntington Hills. And that way, people in Huntington Hills will know that you service their area. So I wouldn't put it on the main menu right here. I would put it maybe a whole bunch of different areas here or maybe even here and have links to them to your main pages. So that's a really good idea for the search engines. And I actually did this on my dad's website and he gets many, many calls. So do that, make individual pages with some good information. Not the same information on every page, but different information on each page about each little area that you do. And maybe even a picture of each little area. Go and drive out and take a picture of West Springs, something good there, and put it on that page and write a little bit about your painting services. So that's a killer tip, I think. The next tip, and I don't know if I skipped this one, this was tip 3, but anyways, is Google Analytics. And what Google Analytics does, it helps you see how many people have come to your website. So that is really, really super helpful. So what you want to do is you want to go to google.com/analytics and go sign in. And you can Google how to set this up or download my book. I show you how to do it. It's free. I'll just show you my website real quick about the website data. And here we can see that 500 people have come to my website. You can see how many people come to your website. You can see where people came from. So mine, if we go to sources, you can see a lot came from YouTube. I love YouTube. A lot came from Google, some from Facebook. Some people directly typed in my URL. So they directly typed in my domain name. And this is really, really helpful to see what marketing is working and what isn't. Maybe Facebook is not sending you anything, but YouTube is sending you a whole lot. So you want to focus more on YouTube rather than Facebook. So that really, really helps. You can also see what people are browsing. So we have our free website giveaway, people like that, and the book page. So it's really, really cool to see what people are doing, and it really helps your marketing efforts. I believe that was tip 7. If not, sorry about that. But tip 8 is to, when you go out to a job, instead of, I know a common marketing tactic is to go and put on all the neighbors' door, I'm painting in the area. If you want me to paint your house, basically, give me a call. I think that's a little corny and a little too pushy. What I would do instead is go to the neighbor's house and put it down a little flyer and say, if any noise is disturbing you, I use eco-friendly paint, but if anything is, disturbing you, or if you have any smells, just let me know. I'm Ted. Be really friendly about it. And I think that would really help your business. It'll put a good feel out there for you, and they'll really get a sense that you're a real genuinely nice person. You care about not disturbing the neighbors. So I'd put some cards out around the city saying that you're doing a painting at a neighbor's house, but let me know if I'm disturbing you in any way. Even though you probably won't be, I think it's a really good marketing tactic. So I think that was tip 8. For tip 9 is it's a combination of the affiliate and the email list. What you want to do is you want to use someone else's list. So maybe a general contractor has a list of 500 clients that he's ever done work with. Maybe what you can do is use that list and give the general contractor some money to use his list. So rent out his list of clients, and then you can send them what you offer. So I think that would be really cool to do. Some bonus tips are, I think it was tip 10, is on this, get an estimate right here. What you want to do is when someone bids, I think what you should do is you should give them a 30-day opening when that bid is available. So the bid expires. This is not only to encourage them to do it, to get your job quicker, because a lot of people will drag their feet, but it also is so that because prices generally increase over time. So gas is going to increase, your painting supplies is going to increase, everything's going to increase, and you don't want them to come back a year later and say that, well, you only quoted me $500, but now everything's more expensive, and it's going to cost you at least $500 to do the job. So you want to give them a deadline of when that bid is available so that they are encouraged to do it sooner. And once the deadline is coming to an end, you can follow up with them. So give them 30 days and then follow up with them and say, the quote deadline's coming to an end. When do you want to get this started? That might be a little too pushy, that verbiage exactly, but I think you get the point. Another thing, the last tip is to give them maybe 3 different prices in your quote, because some people will be budget, some people will be high end, some people will be right in the middle. And what you want to do is you want to say, well, for this, you could do the high end package for this amount, or the medium package for this amount, or the low end package for this amount. And maybe the low end package will be a lesser quality paint, or they'll have to do some prepping themselves, or something like that. So I think it's a really good idea to give them multiple prices in your bid. And I don't know what step I'm on, but I hope that helps. And just one last tip is don't stop marketing, even if you're busy. So it's a much better problem to have too many customers than not enough customers. So even when you're busy, keep on marketing, keep on giving that word out there, because it's way better to deny people than it is to not have enough people. So maybe only 1 or 2 of those ideas will work. I think all of them will work if you're believed in them enough, but just pick and choose which ones you want and really focus on those, and I think you're going to do really well. You're already off to a great start. Being in 21 years of business, obviously, you're doing amazing anyways. So thank you so much, Ted, for allowing me to make your website. It has been a great journey. I think we did a pretty good job. And yeah, for everyone else, please remember to comment, rate, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next video. Thanks a lot.